and kick the can down the road to the next 10 years. So now it will mature in 2031, just a year before the 2032 elections. Haven't we just postponed the same problem? We've not really repaid anything.
I mean, all indications shows that there is already a bond taken, more of a loan taken to repay a loan, as you well put it. What are the options? Our public debt ceiling now is being indicated as 11 trillion, even as we speak. There's been an effort by the parliament to try to deal with this public debt, and especially our debt ceiling. May I also agree that from a fair judgment and fair assessment of the situation, I think taxing citizens is no longer tenable. It's citizens have been taxed, and even right now the fear that the introduction of e-citizen payment, further goes ahead even to strain more Kenyans, because now other avenues of payment that have been probably government would want to tax even this particular payment. Thinking about other avenues of taxing Kenyans. I mean, from the indication, it seems the government is exhausting or has exhausted other ways of domestic raising domestic taxes and revenues. That said and done, I still believe that we probably getting ourselves into a little bit of more problems, because the more we pay, the more interest rates we are gathering. It seems that because from what I see, the dollar has begun to gain. I mean, the Kenya shilling is gaining against the dollar, and I wonder how long that is going to be sustained because of both domestic and international issues. I hope, because then when it comes to payment, remember we're also looking at the currency situation that we as a country are paying this particular bonds, because that then would be in the international currency and not really our local currency. So that says my fear. May I also see, on the other hand, advise the set that every time we are put into a situation to try to explain, we find ourselves in this situation. The fingers have been pointed to a regime that was there before. It is really, I think, some laxity in responsibility. Because we understand, and what my honorable colleague in the site is talking about, that inherently the Kenya Kwanza regime, and this has been chorused through, inherited empty public coffers, that even within the transition and handing over, the regime find itself in a very hard situation by what was done by Kenyatta regime. And the pundits are saying that there have been successive regimes that have been there and probably have find themselves in similar situation, and has worked through silently and through a consultative manner to try to restore back the economy. So I believe that yes, as a country, we might have faced this situation. That from the vintage point or from the knowledge point, our colleagues might know that, you see, the country as Kenya Kwanza regime was getting into power, some of these might have been, they found themselves into this situation. However, it is years after the election, and this kind of justification is not sustainable.
It's no longer tenable.
What we are trying to see is, once we find ourselves in a situation that allows us, in panels like this, allows us to explain, we give an account to what has been done. It's about communicating our position and not blaming ourselves on what we are getting ourselves into.
In a similar problem, because even if the Kenya Kwanza administration was to get a second term, then it's up until 2032. This one is maturing in 2031. In case of default, this would not really affect much of that particular administration.